On the first episode of 2024, we said on this show that the Trump attorney who said, "I'd rather be pretty than smart," was Christina Bobb. In fact, it was Alina Habba. On behalf of everyone on this podcast, I regret the error. I also want to note this is the second mea culpa I've had to issue on this show, thus making the first independent comedy podcast hosted by a straight cisgendered white man to do so at all, in addition to being the first independent comedy podcast hosted by a straight cisgendered white man not to be racist. I'm happy to be a trailblazer. With her track record in defending Donald Trump in court, Alina Habba is lucky that she's not being buried alive at one of Donald Trump's golf courses. In this clip, we get Habba's assessment of the trial while talking to reporters.
No. I'm glad you asked me that question. No, I'm not having any second thoughts about representing President Trump. It is the proudest thing I could ever do. What I am having second thoughts about is the license that I stand here with that the people in there are supposed to have. I have not spoken because I respect my ethics while I'm on trial. But let me now speak about what has happened. I have sat on trial after trial for months in this state, the state of New York. Attorney General Letitia James, and now this. Weeks. Why? Because President Trump is leading in the polls, and now we see what you get in New York. So don't get it twisted, whoever asked me that question. I am so proud to stand with President Trump, but I am not proud to stand with what I saw in that courtroom.
She seems like she would be an absolute dullard at parties. And it's horrific to be around. I am proud to stand with President Trump, and it's a travesty what's happening in that courtroom. I'm like, lady, I only asked if you thought there was too much cilantro in the guacamole.
Well, you know, it's interesting because this is the talking point of the Republicans, is how this is all about him leading the polls. But actually, the litigation started before the running of for presidency, so before he was being polled.
Of course.
So the trials didn't come about because of his leading in the polls.
It's all a persecution. It's a victim. He's the victim. I love when she said, "I'm very proud of my ethics when I'm involved in a trial." You mean you're not worried about your ethics 4 hours, 7 days a week?
And she better be careful because I don't know the exact number or percentage, but a very high percentage of every lawyer he's ever had have had prison terms.
That's right.
So,
and even higher have never gotten paid. So
yeah.
Well, if you're in prison, you don't need to worry about payments. So it's like, it's on the one hand, but on the other.
That's right. I'll pay you on license plates.
I mean, she'll be in prison just yelling at somebody. I was proud to be his lawyer.
You know, that's what makes me the most sad is when I see the, I guess, the feminist equivalent of the term being a race traitor, somebody like Tim Scott. I don't know if I'm right or wrong on that, but my perceptions, Tim Scott, are pretty sketchy, skeevy. Women who defend the patriarchy to the degree that these Republican women are, I have no point of connection with. I don't feel safe around them. I don't trust them. They make me very sad, and they're hurtful to the country and to young women growing up. Sad.